In my culture, when we talk about living room, it's a place where you accept everybody. It's a welcoming place, a place where strangers are welcome, the origins are welcome, everybody's welcome. There's love, concern, everything shown in the living room. It's a place of happiness, a place where everybody is accepted, no matter who you are.
So to begin in March 2016, we invited more than 7 communities to come together to just experiment with this process. And we met once a month, and they just felt this like genuine desire to be there, and they religiously came because they found a sense of healing and therapy through it. Like it was a really beautiful process.
I think the gatherings impacted us all positively, and also it impacted us in a way where we felt some kind of sadness. By happiness and joy, sharing these stories motivated people to learn from each other, and especially our younger generation, the youth that were involved, who didn't hear or know much about our cultures and traditions, were really very, very excited, and they got some knowledge. However, the sadness is we don't practice much of that, and we don't have a lot of those equipment that we use as part of our tradition and culture. And so it's difficult to get them. And so that reminds you that you are missing out so much.
Avyo hani ser mi çi tesir kir? Min xwavêdê dît ku rastî jî demekî em jî însanî, me jî ew dît kültûra xwe, zimanê xwe, müzîka xwe, çanda xwe heye. Tirkiyeyê tu nikavî tiştê bikî. Tirkiyeyê tu nikarî wê pêk bînî. Ji ber wê yekê yani ew dî gelek mezin da min. Hem gücük mezin, hem qwetek mezin, hem keyfxweşî gelek mezin. Ji me re çêbî.
I came here as a refugee, and since I told my story at the refugee camp, I've never had anybody sit down to talk to me about it. Sometimes talking about that journey that you went through, somebody listening to you, it really brings back a sort of healing to you. And for me to get different people in the group also to tell their stories, even listen to me. And I was able to say, wow. So almost all of us went through the similar thing.
Many are not aware of our community. There's hardly any relationship, for example, between our communities or with those who are not of immigrant refugee background. And so this project is one way to build relationship that's missing between these invisible smaller communities and the rest of us.
As a person came from Syria, well, I would like to share and express my feelings about my happiness in Canada, and also my pride about being Syrian. This is a good or great chance actually to express that between another 6 communities and cultures.
Edmonton is always going to be my home, my hometown, and Canada is going to be my country. I know I'm from Sierra Leone, but Canada is always going to be my country. Bringing my culture here and accepting Canadian culture helps me to really see who I am and to really make me feel that I'm part of a country. So that sense of belonging for me is always going to be there. It's pride for me. I'm very happy.
I think the idea of having a traveling exhibit is something really, really powerful. It was an opportunity to reach the greatest breadth of an audience throughout the city of Edmonton to really engage with fellow citizens through holding narrative growth gatherings in the public library, La Cité Francophone, like all the different locations. We were able to reach so many different people of so many different backgrounds and really invite them to share, challenge assumptions. I mean, we all have assumptions of each other, and that was really a big part of this. And to actually dive into a space where you can be vulnerable with each other, that was huge. And I think that's one of the strong points of this project is the reach that it can have.
I was really impressed with the complexity of the project. The number of people involved in the project, like youth animators, the community leaders, and different refugee communities. I was very excited. And then knowing that we could invite the exhibit to Edmonton Chinese Library. And I thought, oh, I was so excited I couldn't sleep.
We would like to welcome as many outside community to come in our library. I myself, although I come many years ago, I still had this experience like when I first come, the first 5 years, how did I settle down?
I would hope that people, when they come here, can not only learn about the 7 communities and their journeys to this city, but also to challenge preconceived notions and to challenge assumptions about different communities, different cultures in our city, and to really see that we've all had a journey to this place and we all have a story with that journey, and that's brought us here and created our homes here.
I like the themes because thinking about the newcomers, when they have to leave the home countries, how they feel. Very sad. Maybe they have to leave for reasons they have no control. They have a dangerous situation. The psychological burden on them, it must be so great. But having those themes, the homes, migration, learning how to adjust to a new environment, and using art forms to express the feelings, it enables them to look forward, to the future, even though at this moment they may be facing great adversity.
The value of the partnership is we've had much deeper insight into how to connect with people in the community. To work with the multicultural health brokers and with the communities and the natural leaders has really brought us into a much deeper and richer way of thinking, how story engages the experience of individuals and their communities, and then how that connects with other people who have different experiences and different stories, but they can relate to the kinds of themes that were addressed in Edmonton living rooms.
We are hoping that the exhibit will continue to be shown to others, maybe other small communities, so they'll be inspired to take part in a similar process. So the unfoldingness will continue. This is where we can continue to build relationship and connection with others, really creating intercultural dialogue, utilizing the exhibit. And so we have big dreams going forward.
In a place like Edmonton, I don't think we've thought enough about the importance of what I'll call the narrative environment. The stories we tell about our city, the stories we tell about ourselves, the stories we tell about other communities, the stories they tell about themselves. And so this project, I think at its heart, is really one of the best examples I've seen to date of doing that. Just like we care about the environment, the natural environment, or the social climate, or the economic climate, I think we have to care for the matter of narrative and story. The potential for that to include more people as a way of making a stronger, more resilient, more inclusive Edmonton.
There's so many ways I think we all connect as humans. I mean, there's the conversation, there's the visual, there's sitting together. And so this project has provided a multifaceted approach of really understanding the human condition and bringing us together.